Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we will talk about high context cultures and low context cultures. We are to wind up the first chapter on basics of business communication and especially communication skills. Previously, we have talked a lot on different types of communication, including verbal and non-verbal. And in non-verbal communication, the context of culture has already been explored. As far as low context and high context culture are concerned, it's not a case of categorization of cultures. It's simply um, division of cultures into on the basis of context. If you look at the communication episode, we have studied the communication process, which includes sender and receiver, and in between there is a carrier, which is called channel of the medium. And all this communication is enveloped by context. What is context? Context is the situation where a communication episode is taking place. It also includes the relationship of the speaker and the listener. It also includes the knowledge level of the topic which is under discussion between the receiver and the sender, and it also includes the element of culture as well. So the context is a broad-based term. If in a certain culture context is more important than the real verbal exchange, it is called high context culture. Means a high premium or high quality or higher privilege is given to the context rather than the actual exchange of words. And there are certain cultures where context is given less importance and more importance is given to the words being exchanged during communication episode. That culture is called low context culture. So let's see what our slideshow has to offer us. Based on the context, there are two cultures, high context and low context. And you find in between high and low, different nationalities has been placed. For example, Japanese is purely a high context culture. Arab and Latin American culture is also high context culture. And if we get closer to low context, Swiss, German, and Scandinavians and North Americans, they belong to low context culture. Now, what are the characteristics of these types of cultures? Let's see. High context culture is relational, means relationship is more important than the business. Collectivist means the group is more important than the individual importance. And decision making is done on intuition, means it is based on the sixth sense or the overall experience because the context holds more importance in context culture. So the context of communication is more important, and the decision making is not done on yes, logic is there, but intuition or sixth sense plays more important part in decision making in high context culture. The people who belong to the high context culture are contemplative, they think more, they spend more time in decision making rather than on acting. As compared to high context culture, on the same side, if you look at the low context culture, they are linear, they are not relational. Linear mean business is more important than the relationship. Same way, they are individualistic. Individual is more important. Individual achievement is more important. Group, as compared to high context culture, is lesser important in a low context culture. Then decision making is done on purely logical basis. Sixth sense or intuition is not that much important in low context culture. Probability even is calculated in low context culture. They are more action oriented. They spend more time in action than in thinking. Now, some important tips to improve your communication when you are into a multicultural audience. If we divide our types of message that we have to communicate, that we have to put across in a multicultural audience, oral types of message comes at first. You need to learn the foreign phrases, means the foreign phrases to target culture. And you need to use the simple English also, not Harvard or academic English. Then you need to speak slowly and enunciate clearly so that this listener basically belongs to another culture and his language may not be your language. So if you want to have to communicate in a language which is alien or a foreign language for your target, um, then you need to speak a little slow so that the speaker should be able to see which words, should be able to comprehend which words you are speaking. You need to observe the non-verbal cues also. You need to observe the high messages while the other person is communicating. Then you need to verify your understanding through the feedback. Please encourage it if you feedback from your listener. Check frequently for comprehension also. It is linked with the previous message, with the previous point of discussion. You need to check frequently for comprehension, right? Whether you understood clearly or not. And well, if there is some mistake on your part in understanding or in communicating, then please accept it. No harm in it. Once you accept it, you will be able to solve the problem. Listen without interrupting. Let the other person finish before you breathe in. And do remember to smile. It is most powerful nonverbal element when you are talking to someone. You can follow up in writing if you have discussed something in oral, and that involves a lot of decision making and assignments. Then you need to follow up in writing so that whatever you decided should come in writing, and both the parties should agree to it. Now, the other type of communication when you are communicating with the multicultural audience and you are communicating in writing, then your written messages should be adapted to the local formats, letter or email or memos or so whatever you are preparing for a multicultural audience, you need to see for the relevant formats which are acceptable in their culture, in the target culture. Use shorter sentences and shorter paragraphs when you are writing for multicultural audience. Culture is a different culture than you. Avoid ambiguous expressions. Ambiguous expression means that the words or the expression which has got more than one meanings, and the meanings could be very different. So try to get rid of ambiguous expressions when you are writing. Clarity is when it's a multidimensional concept. We will be discussing clarity in writing in our coming lecture also. But for the sake of a suggestion, you should strive for clarity so that your reader should understand whatever you have written. Use correct grammar, and wherever you have to put figures and numbers, you need to cite the numbers very clearly. Understand the value of difference. Two cultures, they would be like each other. They would be similar to one another for some reasons, and they would be points of differences, lots of points of differences for others also. So you need to understand that differences are there. And please do not accept total conformity whatever you talk to a multicultural audience whose language is not the language that you talk. They may not be able to comprehend, they may not be able to conform to whatever you have said. So don't expect total conformity because this will create a little ambiguity and anxiety in you. Then bias and stereotypes, you need to go for the book to see what is bias, what is stereotype, what is prejudice, and what is uh, the concept of belief that every person believes that his or her culture is superior. This is called ethnocentrism. So ethnocentrism and stereotypes, they should not be practiced. They should, you need to be careful, to be mindful about these two things, and you have to get rid of these two things when you are communicating from other culture. You need to practice focus, thoughtful, and open-minded listening. Invite, use, and give the feedback. We already we have talked a lot on that. And feedback is very important. Giving feedback and encouraging feedback for verification of understanding, that is very important. Assumptions should not be there. You need to verify, you need to recheck your comprehension with the other person. So less assumptions, more confirmations. Learn about your own cultural self so that it should be communicated with the other one also. What is your culture and how do they people do various things in your different type of culture. Learn about other cultures and identity groups also, and be careful and be respectful to the other cultural identities. Um, if you seek the common ground, it's easier to talk to the other person. With that, we come to an end for this chapter. Inshallah, in the coming lectures, we will be talking on three stages of writing. More focus will be on writing. How a business writing is important, what are its basic ingredients, and how you can write reader-friendly, um, result-oriented, object-oriented language when you are writing messages for different types of audience. So till then, bye bye, take care.